Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone is enjoying their afternoon, their evening. Hoy va a ser otra clase, otra lección que se va a dar por medio de Conchas y Café, the zine and 15-week bilingual creative writing workshop series. And as I had already begun mentioning, as everyone was logging on, today's session is going to be led by Abraham. He has, I think, probably the most obvious way that we could introduce our theme of Los Caminos de la Vida. I'm sure when a lot of you heard the theme of this particular series, you were thinking of the song in particular that we were going to review. And with that, I'll also in the chat, les voy a poner otra vez el folleto para los que quieran bajar el folleto. And for those of you that are joining in the live streams, you can, of course, download the handouts if you fully enroll by visiting distillarts.org/Conchas y Café zine. You'll be able to fully register using Google Classroom for free. And the video recording itself will be up on our YouTube channel in the next day or so. Not like the one from last week. Last week's just barely went up yesterday. Pero aún así, todos van a tener ese acceso. So yeah, as Abraham says, enroll to be a VIP. Pero con eso le voy a pasar la plataforma al Abraham. So go ahead, Abraham. Take it away, sir. It is all yours.
Yes.
Excellent. Bueno, comencemos. Bring it on. And again, most of the lectures, I mean, all of them actually, we do them bilingually. So we have Spanish and English, and this one's gonna have a lot of Spanish in it, but definitely follow it on your notes or the file that Luis put in the chat, because here we go. Let me start sharing here. So here we go. This is the piece that we're going to start with today. So forgive me if I picture it, but I'm going to try to read it in a kind of singing song, kind of. So again, I'll do it in Spanish. And just because it's a long one, just follow it in English, because I'm not going to go through it in English, but definitely follow it. Okay, so everybody hope they have their files ready. And here we go. De la ciudad de bonita de Jaime Poveda, un amigo de verdad. Los caminos de la vida no son como yo pensaba, como los imaginaba, no son como yo creía. Los caminos de la vida son muy difícil de andarlos, difícil de caminarlos, y no encuentro la salida. Yo pensaba que la vida era distinta. Cuando estaba pequeñito yo creía que las cosas eran fácil como ayer, que mi viejecita buena se esmeraba por darme todo lo que necesitaba. Y hoy me doy cuenta de que tan fácil no es, porque mi viejecita ya está cansada de trabajar para mí y mi hermano y para mí, para mí, hermano y para mí. Y ahora con gusto me toca ayudarla. Y por mi vieja lucharé hasta el fin. Por ella lucharé hasta que me muera, y por ella no me quiero morir. Tampoco que se me muera mi vieja, pero qué va si el destino es así. Los caminos de la vida no son como yo pensaba, como los imaginaba, no son como yo creía. Los caminos de la vida son muy difíciles de andarlos, difícil de caminarlos. Yo no encuentro la salida. Ay, mamá, y hombre, los hermanos que más se quieren, Francisco y Jaime Boscan. Uno sabe que la vida de repente ha de acabarse y uno espera que sea tarde, que llegue la despedida. Un amigo me decía, recompensaré a mis viejos por la crianza que me dieron y no le alcanzó la vida. Para eso te pido a ti, mi Dios del cielo, para que me guíes en el camino correcto. Para mi viejita linda, compensar, para que olvides ese mar de sufrimientos y que de ella se aparte todo el tormento. que para criarnos tuvo que pasar. Viejita, linda, tienes que entenderme. No te preocupes, todo va a cambiar. Yo sufro mucho, madrecita, al verte necesitada y no te puedo dar. A veces lloro al sentirme impotente. Son tantas cosas que te quiero dar y voy a luchar incansablemente porque tú no mereces sufrir más. Los caminos de la vida no son como yo pensaba, como los imaginaba, no son como yo creía. Los caminos de la vida son muy difícil de andarlos, difícil de caminarlos, difícil de caminarlos. Y no encuentro la salida. Los caminos de la vida no son como yo pensaba. Título: Los caminos de la vida, canción de Omar Geles. So again, here's the English version. Again, hopefully you guys followed. And the title was The Ways of the Life, sung by Omar Geles. So what do you guys think? Hopefully you guys read it on time. And up to you guys. What do you guys think about this song?
Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. This is just your
So
response.
I thought it was profound enough that it inspired me to want to continue dealing with like how hurt my life uh, can be.
Nice.
I can say, since I already unmuted myself, I didn't raise my hand. I mean, I know this song. It's a beautiful song and definitely makes you think, right? But, you know, I guess at my age, I started thinking this a long time ago. And it does sound like it's somebody that's older, you know, that wrote this song because, you know, it's, you know how when you're growing up, you're happy, you're with your grandparents, with your parents, and everything is just nice and beautiful until you find out that one day it's not going to be, you know, that it's going to stop. That one day you're going to be separated, you know, because we go through life and there are stages in life that we go through. I learned about the stages in life when I was at the university and, you know, like young adulthood and teenage years. And it's when you become, you know, an older adult that you realize that nothing, no, como dice, nada es para siempre, you know, everything is going to stop, you know. And of course you start, when you get to my age, you start looking back and thinking, you know, did I do it the best way possible? You know, you start looking at every single stage. So that song, of course, reminds me of all the stages in my life and how, yeah, I was happy. Not that I'm not happy right now, please don't get me wrong. But, you know, at this point, como dice Abraham, nomás me acuerdo y, ¿cómo dices?
No me duele, nada más cuando me acuerdo.
Ándale.
It doesn't hurt only when I remember. Yeah, San Juanita definitely it has these different perspective in life that she's speaking of. And we have Kimberly as well.
Yes, I'd like to thank you for reading the poem so beautifully. I wanted to acknowledge the fact that I'm pretty sure many of us have heard the song, but never have I taken the time to read the lyrics and listening to um the words themselves. It sounded very beautifully but also very painful. It's definitely a struggle that per almost everyone POC can probably see themselves in, but it was just a lot of emotions in just one um poem.
Thank you. And we also have Tauri. She writes, the repetition throughout the poem creates an easy flow for me as a listener to follow along. It's conservational. That as simply written, it is easy for me to relate to certain lines or think about my parents' experiences. And yeah, definitely it's relatable. That's That's definitely one of the big faces of it. Julie?
Sorry.
There
Anyway,
you go.
I was just thinking that it seems more like a story, like prose, than so much a poem. I have never heard the song, and I would love to hear it. But I think it just kind of is a good example of how you can write in a prose style and it comes out as a poem still. Like it's almost like the same thing. And I really enjoyed that about it because for me it was a story.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely carries a story through, but it has certain points that are really relatable, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But again, if you guys have the chance, go for it. Listen to it on YouTube, "The Ways of Life: Los Caminos de la Vida" by Omar Geles. And again, we cannot play here because of copyright purposes. So today I read it. And so let's continue because we have. First, I wanted to acknowledge that me and Luis were talking about like what was the theme for this term for Conchas y Café, and we're just talking, and he's like, "Oh, what about los caminos de la vida?" And I'm like, "Oh," the song came to my head like immediately, and like, okay, that sounds like a cool topic to go through, right? And it's interesting because the story of the song it's gonna bring some of that as well. So here is I'm gonna go in English and Spanish, so just bear with me. On January 1st, 1996, this song was released. The song main theme is the difficulties that Hellis went through with his mother and siblings in childhood, which is why one more than one occasion he stated that this was the greatest tribute he could have paid to his mother, Hilda Suarez Castilla, in life. However, at first, it was not going to be played by him. In 1992, Omar Geles wrote the song in a yellow notebook and presented it into Lucho Romero with the intention that the Binomio de Oro Colombian Vallenato Musical Group would record it. Codisco's record label maintained that it was very personal. So the determination was made that Geles himself and Los Diablitos would lead the project. El 1 de enero de 1996 se estrenó este tema. La canción tiene como tema principal las dificultades que Geles pasó junto a su madre y sus hermanos en la infancia, por lo que en más de una oportunidad afirmó que esa era el mayor homenaje que podría haber hecho en vida a su progenitora, Hilda Suárez Castilla. Sin embargo, en un principio no iba a ser interpretado por él. En 1992, Omar Geles escribió la canción en un cuaderno de hojas amarillas y se la presentó a Lucho Romero con la intención de que el Binomio de Oro, grupo musical colombiano de vallenato, la grabara. Pero la disquera Codiscos sostuvo que era muy personal, por lo que se tomó la determinación que fuera el propio Geles y los Diablitos los que encabezaran el proyecto. I composed that song in 1992 when remembering the difficulties childhood where she was our hero, the brave, hardworking, and capable woman who fought to get us ahead. I never thought that the song would get into everyone's heart, but it kept playing, and that fills my heart with joy, and even more so knowing that it is for my old mom, Hilda. Omar Geles recalled during an interview with Big Sari. Esa canción la compuse en el año 1992 al recordar las dificultades de la niñez donde ella era nuestra heroína. Esa mujer milenia, valiente, trabajadora y capaz, que luchó para sacarnos adelante. Nunca pensé que la canción se metiera en los corazones de todos, pero sigue sonando y eso me llena el corazón de alegría y más sabiendo que es para mi vieja Hilda. Recordó Omar Geles durante una entrevista con Vizcani. Because I see my mother tired from working for my brother and me, and now I would like to help her, and for her I fight to the end. Are fragments of the success that shook Colombia, where the numbers of mothers, head of household, exceeded 12 million, which is why it became one of the most popular songs in the country. Porque a mi madre le veo cansada de trabajar por mi hermano y por mí. Y ahora con ganas quisiera ayudarla y por ella la peleo hasta el fin. Son los fragmentos del éxito que conmocionó, conmocionaron a Colombia, en donde la cifra de madres cabezas de hogar superan los 12 millones, por lo que se convirtió en una de las canciones más populares del país. Worldwide, it was not exception. The song was performed by Vicentico, Los Ángeles Azules, Paulina Arena, Lila Downs, Celso Piña, Los Dinos, Cambin Esteves, and several other artists, for which Heles revealed on one occasion that it was the composition for which he received the most royalties during his career. A nivel mundial no fue la excepción. La canción fue interpretada por Vicentico, Los Ángeles Azules, Paula Arenas, Lila Downs, Celso Piña, Los Dínamos, Camboy Esteves y varios artistas más, por lo que Geles reveló en una oportunidad que fue la composición por la que más recibió regalías durante su carrera. The impact that the ways of their life had was such that the president of Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, asked during one of his television conferences that the song be played as an example of taking risk and facing adversity. Fue tal la importancia que tuvo los caminos de la vida que el presidente de México, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, pidió durante una de sus conferencias televisivas que le pusieran la canción como un ejemplo de que hay que tomar riesgos y enfrentar adversidades. So that's kind of some of the story behind this song, and I think it's really important to tell where we come from and where we're heading, right? Cómo son los caminos de la vida. Es muy importante decir de dónde venimos y a dónde vamos, ¿verdad? And with this being said, I wanted to introduce you another story that I think is really relevant. Quiero introducirlos a una historia que también se me hace muy relevante a los que estamos presentes y a los que vamos y venimos, ¿verdad? So without further ado, I want to introduce this little story to you guys. At 18 years old, Luis began working in the nonprofit sector as a tutor and mentor for youth and various after-school programs in North San Diego County. And by 21, he had raised to the position of program administrator for a workforce development program, servicing at-risk youth in his community. All the while, Luis was actively creating art and poetry and pursuing publishing and exhibition opportunities for his work. His desire to elevate the arts in his community included integrating poetry workshops into his workforce development program and other art-centered opportunities for the youth he mentored, while stressing the economic importance of the art in our workforce. A los 18 años, Luis comenzó a trabajar en el sector sin fines de lucro como tutor y mentor para jóvenes en varios programas extracurriculares en el norte del condado de San Diego y a los 21 había ascendido al puesto de administrador de un programa de desarrollo laboral que presentaba servicios a jóvenes en riesgo de sus comunidades. Mientras tanto, Luis creaba activamente arte y poesía y buscaba oportunidades de publicación y exhibición para su trabajo. Su deseo de elevar las artes en su comunidad incluía la integración de talleres de poesía en su programa de desarrollo laboral y otras oportunidades centradas en las artes para los jóvenes a los que asesoraba al tiempo que enfatizaba la importancia económica de las artes en nuestra fuerza laboral. After several years of being nonprofit program administrator with several poetry awards, publications, and exhibitions credits, Luis moved to Los Angeles to pursue an MFA in creative writing from Cal Arts, where he hoped to gain more insight into the publishing and art sector. Unfortunately, his experience at this institution only reinforced what he already knew. The art and publishing industries are gatekeepers that place a higher value on Eurocentric points of view and are more than happy to support artists who reinforce this ideology. Everyone who infuses non-Western European culture beliefs and practices into their artwork is kept at a distance, let in only when it is safe, convenient, and easy to monetize for the benefit of gatekeepers and not the artist. Después de varios años de ser administrador de programas sin fin de lucro, con varios premios de poesía, publicaciones y créditos en exposiciones, Luis se mudó a Los Ángeles para realizar una maestría en escritura creativa en el Cal Arts, donde esperaba obtener más información sobre el sector editorial y artístico. Desafortunadamente, su experiencia en esta institución solo reforzó lo que ya sabían. Las industrias del arte y la edición son guardianes de otorgan un mayor valor a los puntos de vista eurocéntricos y están más felices de apoyar a los artistas que refuerzan estas ideologías. Cualquiera que infunda creencias y prácticas culturales no occidentales en sus obras de arte se mantienen a distancia y se le permite entrar solo cuando sea seguro, conveniente y fácil de monetizar en beneficio de los guardianes y no de los artistas. Disillusioned and disaffected again, although now with an MFA, Luis returned to the nonprofit sector where, again, he found communities of color being presented with a narrow path of achieving anything that might resemble a middle-class life. An emphasis on narrow educational attainments and on aspiring towards career in medicine, law, or engineering over careers in the arts persisted. The implicit devaluation of the arts, and in particular, dismissal of Latino and indigenous art and culture persisted. Desilusionado y desafectado nuevamente, aunque ahora con un MFA, Luis regresó al sector sin fines de lucro. Nuevamente encontró a las comunidades de color, se les presentaba un camino estrecho para lograr cualquier cosa que pudiera parecerse a una vida de clase media. Persistió el énfasis en lograr educativos limitados y en aspirar a carreras de medicina, derecho o ingeniería por encima de carreras de arte. Persistió la evaluación implícita de las artes y en particular el desprecio de las artes y la cultura latinas e indígenas. Despite the data, Louis' extensive experience as a program administrator and his various artistic accomplishments, nothing was enough for his idea of equity and accessibility in the arts to be fully adopted by the nonprofit he will later work for. A pesar de los datos, a pesar de las amplias experiencias de Luis como administrador de programas y sus diversos logros artísticos, nada fue suficiente para que sus ideas de equidad y accesibilidad en las artes fueran adoptadas plenamente por las organizaciones sin fin de lucro, para las que luego trabajaría. Thus, after more than a decade of working in nonprofit sector and witnessing the systematic perpetuation of gatekeeping in the arts, Luis used his many years of experience as a nonprofit administrator and practicing artist to establish an organization that genuinely reflects and empowers our community through the arts and creative workforce development. And in the late 2012, DSTL Arts was founded. Así, después de más de una década de trabajar en el sector sin fin de lucro y ser testigo de las perpetuaciones sistemáticas de la vigilancia en las artes, Luis utilizó sus muchos años de experiencia como administrador sin fin de lucro y artista en ejercicio para establecer una organización que genuinamente reflejara y empoderara a nuestras comunidades a través de las artes, desarrollado la fuerza laboral creativa y a finales del 2012 se fundó DSTL Arts. And again, DSTL Arts is what we're here for. And I wanted to share this story because it's also our 10th year for this program, Conchas y Café. This is our 10th year. Es el año 10 para este programa de Conchas y Café. Let me stop this so I can share this video here. So here we are. So this was 10 years ago. This is our first Conchas y Café release party back when we used to do it at the library. So that's what it used to look like, right? Like we release our books. that book was actually made by hand. Nowadays we send it to be printed. So eso fue hace 10 años atrás. Fue el primer fiesta para realizar nuestro primer libro de Conchas y Café. Y antes lo hacíamos a mano, ahora lo mandamos a imprimir a otro lado, pero eso fue hace 10 años. So wanted to celebrate that and thank you all for coming this year and continuing this legacy, este camino que ha llevado un ratillo a llegar hasta ahora, ¿verdad? So let me continue. Thank you guys again. Let me share this again. Let's get back to this. Okay. And without further ado, I'm going to ask somebody to read the next piece in English, and then we're going to move to Spanish. So for this, I'm going to ask, Ini, Mini, Mo. Tauri, are you there? Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah, you can't. Okay, then I'm going to go for, let me see. I'm going to say Julie. Why not, Julie? Are you there, Julie?
I'm here.
Okay, here you go. This is the piece we're gonna read. We're gonna do it first in English, and then gonna ask somebody else to read in Spanish. So whenever you are ready, Julie, go for it.
Okay. In the 1950s, Then began working in my first job. Now retired from full-time work. Then played the records of Johnny Ray, Tommy Steele, Elvis on a turntable. Now listen to songs on iPod. Then took first flight from Glasgow to Dublin. Went from home to destination in 2 hours. Now, same journey today, with all the security and traffic, could take over 6 hours. Then saw Princess Elizabeth the year she became queen. Now enjoyed her Diamond Jubilee in 2012. Then bought family our first TV and watched Coronation in 1953. Now follow interests on YouTube and TED Talks. Then keyed up for tickets Bill Haley in the Comets. Saw him perform Rock Around the Clock. Now go to see live performance of The Lion King or watch favorites Andrew Rue and A.L. Weber. Then followed Sputnik and the race to the moon. Now download the Mars landing video and NASA space photos. Then loved the A-line skirt. Now still love and wear A-line skirts. Then post was main means of communication. Now send SMS to friends. Then traveled by public transport, tram, bus, subway. No Chevy to drive anywhere. Now, little public transport, practically everyone has own means to get about. Then followed main news at weekly cinema shows. Now, minute by minute updates on Cell from CNN.com. Then loved to read the works of great poets. Now also enjoy writing my own verse and thoughts. Then and Now by Mary McCreath, Glasgow, Scotland.
Thank you, Julie. Great reading. Thank you. And I guess for this one, I'm going to ask who wants to read in Spanish? Who wants to give it a go in Spanish?
Hand raised from San Juanita
San
and
Juanita?
or Chignahui.
Okay, you guys want to fight for it or should I flip a coin? I'm going to do Chicago since I haven't here, so let's give him a
Let
try.
him read it.
Yeah, let him
Pero
read.
lea,
Okay. Yeah,
porque
sounds good.
algo muy-
Cuando estés listo, ¿ok?
Ok, presente. En la década de 1950. Antes comencé a trabajar en mi primer trabajo. Ahora jubilada del trabajo de tiempo completo. Antes tocaba los discos de Johnny Ray, Tommy Steele, Elvis en un tocadiscos. Ahora escucho canciones en mi iPhone. Antes tomé el primer vuelo de Glasgow a Dublín. Fui de casa a mi destino en 2 horas. Ahora en el mismo viaje de hoy, con toda la seguridad y el tráfico, podría tardar más de 6 horas. Antes vi a la princesa Isabel el año en que se convirtió en reina. Ahora disfruto de sus bodas de diamante en 2012. Antes compramos para la familia nuestro primer televisor y vimos la coronación de 1953. Ahora sigo mis interés en YouTube y TikTok. Antes hice cola para comprar entradas Bill Haley and the Comets. Lo vi interpretar Rock Around the Clock. Ahora voy a ver la presentación en vivo de El Rey León. Miro a los favoritos Andre Reu y a L. Weber. Antes siguió al Sputnik a la carrera hacia la luna. Ahora descargo el video del aterrizaje en Marte y las fotos espaciales de la NASA. Antes me encantó la falda acompanada. Ahora todavía amo y uso faldas acompanadas. Antes el correo era el principal medio de comunicación. Ahora envío SMS a mi amigo. Antes viajé en transporte público. Tranvía, autobús, metro. Ningún Chevy para conducir a ninguna parte. Ahora hay poco transporte público. Prácticamente todo el mundo tiene propios medios para desplazarse. Antes seguían las principales noticias en las proyecciones semanales de cine. Ahora hay actualizaciones minuto a minuto en el celular de CNN.com. Antes me encantaba leer obras de grandes poetas. Ahora también disfruto escribiendo mis propios versos y pensamientos. Título: Antes y ahora, por María Mejred de Glasgow, Escocia.
Muchas
Yo,
gracias. Muchas gracias. Salió bien. Eso. So, with that being said, what do you guys think about this poem? ¿Qué piensan acerca de este poema? Calor. Sí, Chicanawi? I see.
okay. I'm thinking about how to appreciate the movement of ourselves within the space that we exist in. Yeah, man, that's it.
Sí, sí, sí. Sí, básicamente es eso. Porque el espacio es tiempo, ¿verdad? Y de dónde venimos y a dónde estamos es eso, ¿verdad? Es ese, no conflicto, pues, sino esas diferencias, ese contraste, ¿verdad?
Sí.
There you go. Anyone else?
It looks like this person's older than me because I'm past the iPod. I'm past the iPod.
Well, if you want clues, it actually has some days. For example, one of them is, I think the later one says 2012, and the other one, 50s, right? 1950s. So that's kind of the gauge that we have so far.
Yep. But it's interesting how this person was able to capture all these things that are going away, you know, or that
Yep.
eventually my kids maybe will not see.
Yes. So that's important that she wrote it, right?
Yep.
Any other ones? Any other thoughts? Algunos más pensamientos sobre esta pieza? Julie?
I think there was an existential quality about it. I liked it. I think she was trying to be present, you know, and what she was trying to, you know, her thoughts being presented to us, which I love that idea of her, even though she was talking about her history in the past, she was still very much in the present. So I really think that's interesting, an interesting concept of how she did that.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I don't think the poem feels nostalgic at all. I think it has this, you know, this just presentation of different times of her life, right? San Juanita?
Julie, would you think that it's because of the skirts?
It has the same skirt.
And she used to love A-line and she still does.
Yes, I love that. I like that stanza. That stanza was one of my favorites.
Yeah. That really grounds it. I have to say, it really does ground it right there. That is probably the most grounding aspect of the whole poem.
I like that line she wrote there. I used to like, and I still like them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else
I was
who?
yeah, I was gonna say something about that too. I really liked that it reminded me of, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with like these little books they used to sell in school, and it was like an about me, and it would ask like how much a stamp costs, you know, right now in this time, and you're supposed to keep it and then like look back at it later. And so this poem reminded me of that. And I just thought it was cute that even though there are things that change, some things like her liking her skirt don't change, you know? And that's just what it where it took my mind. So I appreciated going down memory lane. But then it also makes me think like I wonder what's gonna change, you know, when I get, and I wonder what stuff I'll still like.
Update. Yeah, I never heard of those notebooks. Luis, do you ever fill those ones up?
I've seen stuff like that. It's kind of like a time capsule, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder if any of you guys have it. If you guys have it, might as well share it on the class.
It'd be really interesting to know. Like, you know, what I appreciate about the poem is kind of like what Julie said, you know, it does try to speak about what it was like in the past, but from now. And like you said, Abraham, it's not a sad poem. It's not a poem about the nostalgia for something that passed. It's just an observational poem. And as Chiknawi said, it's almost as if it's trying to just understand its relationship. The speaker of the poem is trying to understand their relationship with the passage of time. And I think that that's what makes the poem effective. You know, it gives us a sense of who this person is and where they come from and the things that were important to them at one point and how they're maybe still important to them now.
Excellent. And again, just to continue, I found this poem I loved how the writer shows us the path she was on, and the path she is on now. Again, it's this duality of things, right? Uh, for future reference, I will call this kind of poem "Then and Now" poems, just because it's the title she chose. So I kind of like to keep with that. Um, encontré este poema y me encantó cómo la escritora muestra los caminos en los que se estuvo y los caminos en los que se encuentra ahora. Para futuras referencias llamaré este tipo de poema de antes y ahora, ya que es el título del poema, ¿verdad? Another thing to notice is that this poem uses a technique called Anaphora, and it's one of the things that we had previous class noted. It is a repetition of words or phrases in a group of sentences, clauses, or poetic lines. Otra cosa a tener en cuenta es que este poema utiliza una técnica llamada anáfora. Es la repetición de palabras o frases en un grupo de oraciones, cláusulas o versos poéticos. And here's an example of it, okay? Every breath you take, every move you make, every bound you break, every step you take. I'll be watching you, right? This is from the song Every Breath You Take by The Police. Y es un ejemplo, como les decía, cada respiro que tomas, cada movimiento que haces, cada vínculo que rompes, cada paso que das, te estaré observando. Y esta es una canción, cada respiro que tomas de la policía o de police. Doesn't sound the same. And again, as the poem, you guys can see this taking place. Antes, 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 ahora, ahora. In English, again, then, now, then, now. So it's that repetition, especially at the start, right? If you think about it, right? Any questions of this anaphora technique or this kind of poetic device? ¿Alguna pregunta sobre esta técnica? No. Okie dokie. I guess we'll continue. Just making sure. Raise your hands if you get stuck. No shame on it. Okay, let me see where we are. Okay, so we have an exercise that we're gonna do, right? Looking at then, we are going to create a then and now poem. So, este va a ser el ejercicio. Mirando al antes, vamos a crear un poema de antes y ahora, ¿verdad? So, let's start. This is how we're going to start. At 18 years old, then I began working in the nonprofit sector as a tutor. Now, blah, 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 blah. Then I was actively creating art and poetry and pursuing publishing and exhibition opportunities for my work. Now, blah, blah, blah. Then I moved to LA to pursue an MFA in creative writing, where non-Western European cultures' beliefs were not nurtured. Now, blah, 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 blah. And as you guys can see, I got these from the small bio that I provided about Luis, right? So on the meantime, Luis is gonna write in the chat. So please, nobody else writes on the chat. He's gonna write these 3 nows so I can finish the poem, okay? Y en español, como decía, empecemos a los 18 años. Antes comencé a trabajar en el sector sin fines de lucro como tutor. Ahora, bla, bla, bla. Antes comencé a crear arte y poesía activamente y a buscar oportunidades de publicación y exhibiciones para mi trabajo. Ahora, bla, bla, bla. Antes me mudé a Los Ángeles para realizar una maestría en escritura creativa donde no se cultivaba creencias culturales no procedentes de la Europa occidental. Ahora, bla, bla, bla. Y como estaba diciendo, mientras tanto, Luis está escribiendo lo que sigue de los poemas, es como lo vamos a acabar. Y el antes lo conseguí de la pequeña biografía que les leí al comienzo sobre Luis y cómo comenzó este tipo de programas como DSTL Arts, que es en donde estamos, Conchas y Café es uno de sus programas. Okay, so again, without further ado, Luis is typing or finishing the poems. So let me get back to the English one. And again, Luis, if you have time, do the Spanish version or not. I don't know, whichever you want. Okay. So we have the first, oh no, actually we have the 3. Hold on. Let's copy.
Yeah. So,
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on a second. And copy and pasting. Okay. Excellent. So now we have a complete. Okay, on the meantime, I'm gonna ask somebody to read it. Let's see who haven't I called. Kimberly, you still with us?
Yes.
Do you mind reading this one in English, please?
No, I don't mind.
Excellent.
Okay. At 18 years old, then I began working in the nonprofit sector as a tutor. Now, I run a nonprofit. No one can gatekeep us. Then, I was actively creating art and poetry and pursuing public and exhibition opportunities for my work. Now, I create spaces for others, myself, and for the world to know we are here and will not go away. Then, I moved to LA to pursue an MFA in creative writing, where non-Western European cultural beliefs were not nurtured. Now, we speak as we speak, we write as we write, y nadie nos cambiará.
You really, that's awesome. And Luis, do you try the Spanish or not? Should I leave it at that? I don't know. I cannot see you.
I'm almost done.
Okay, excellent.
The
Just
translation.
and again, don't worry, guys. Luis had a little I kind of gave him the prompt beforehand, so don't feel like, oh, he's on fire, even though he's fast. I just want to make sure don't get like discouraged. Like, oh, these guys are fast. Y gracias, Kimberly. That's great. Ok, ahora vamos a hacer el español. Como les decía, Luis ahorita está, pero Le di chance, él ya sabía el prompt de este poema, so ya no se espanten por la rapidez en la que saca el trabajo, aunque sí rápido, no se la crean. Okay, let me do this. Excellent. Ahora, en español, se los presentamos a San Juanita, ¿cómo te quedaste con ganas? ¿Sí me lo puedes leer? Muchas gracias.
Ok, a los 18 años, antes comencé a trabajar en el sector sin fines de lucro como tutor. Ahora dirijo una organización benéfica. Nadie nos cierra la puerta. Antes comencé a crear arte y poesía activamente y a buscar oportunidades de publicación y exhibición para mi trabajo. Ahora creo espacios para otros, para mí y para que el mundo sepa que estamos aquí y jamás nos iremos. Antes me mudé a Los Ángeles para realizar una maestría en escritura creativa, donde no se cultivaban creencias culturales no procedentes de Europa occidental. Ahora hablamos como hablamos, escribimos como escribimos, and no one will change that. I like that.
Wow, good job, guys, and excellent job, Luis. Thank you. I make you work all the time.
You made your point, Luis.
Muy bien. So, esto es lo que hicimos el ejercicio, pero vamos a seguir antes que nos acabe el tiempo, no sé cómo vamos, pero vamos a seguir con esto.
Ahí anda.
Okay. Okay, so exercise. This is for you guys. Now let's try. I want you to try one stanza. And a stanza is like a paragraph in a poetic sense, right? And write in the chat. Again, you write on the chat only when you're done, when you have the whole stanza ready, okay? And anybody, don't put anything else other than your stanza when you finish. And if you have any questions, just speak out loud. It'll be easier to keep track of everybody's work on the chat, okay? San Juanita! Okay, but okay, anyways, wait for it. That's right.
I'm leave.
Oh, no, it's all right. No worries, no worries.
I'm not running away.
Okay.
I know it looks like I'm running away, but I'm not running away.
Okay. The start with the then, again, as Luis said, we did the prompt with Luis, we started with then, right? So start with that for your first line, right? And as you finish, so once you finish with your then start with your now in your life, right? Like what you're doing now that relates to that specific line, right? Again, it has to relate what you're saying, otherwise it feels like they don't belong with each line, right? So again, this is kind of the example. Then blah blah blah, and then you put your now. And this is for you again. So we just need for you to finish one. Don't write anything on the chat. And when you're done, put it on the chat, okay? En español, déjenme les ponga. Ahora lo intentaremos. Quiero que comiencen una estrofa y la escriban en el chat. Pero espérense, como decía, no vayan a poner otras cosas que no sean cuando acaben su estrofa en el chat. Nada más cuando está acabada la ponen, ¿ok? Para que no nos hagamos bolas con todo lo que escriben en el chat. Y si tienen alguna pregunta, algo, pueden hablar, no hay problema. Y comiencen primero con el antes, ¿qué estaban haciendo antes? Y después van a terminar con el o la hora, ¿verdad? Y aquí está, por ejemplo, como lo hicimos con Luis, antes, y escriben lo que estaban haciendo, y después escriban lo que están haciendo ahora. Y para que salga bien, fíjense que sean cosas que tengan que ver con ellas mismas, ¿verdad? No van a decir, antes veía la televisión, ahora estudio matemáticas, ¿no? I don't know. Depends, aunque eso quedaría, ¿verdad? Antes también quedaría.
Sí.
Pero ahí piénsenle, que vean que sirvan las dos líneas juntas. ¿Ok? Any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta sobre este ejercicio? About this exercise? Any questions? I guess everybody's writing already, which is good.
Parece que sí.
Okay. Any questions? Speak out loud. I'm here for you. And how much time do we give him, Luis?
I think we could probably do 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna say 5 minutes plus. Hey, Julie, what's your question?
How many lines is a stanza?
Oh, it can be a couple, but for this one, I think 2 lines will work. Just then and you then now. But again, you can
Right.
put 2 lines if you want for the then and 2 lines for the now if you want to, but you have to have that contrast, okay? And again, you have 5 minutes, so no pressure.
Ay, ahora. All right, so you have the exercises in the chat as well,
Mhm.
in case it's easier for you to read it in the chat.
Mhm. Yeah, it's weird sometimes with devices
Yeah.
to share the screen or watch.
Los caminos de la vida.
Sí, de tarea, escúchenla, por favor. Yeah, homework, listen to the song, like, you're gonna like it.
I did put the original song.
Oh, you put in the chat?
as well. Yeah,
Oh,
so you can watch
sweet.
it on YouTube. But
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I was introduced to the original. I think I heard like a different version when I grew up, but like the first time I heard, like it stuck to me, like, oh, what's going on? So sad.
Yeah, I think the first time I heard it was with Tropa Vallenatos.
Mhm.
That was probably the first time that I heard it.
Sí, cuando estaba buscándolo dije, ah, ¿cuál es la que escuchaba? No, no sé todavía, tendré que buscarlo un poquito más.
Yeah. So already got one part of the stanza, one half of a couplet.
Yeah, but again, try to put them together in the one set of the chat so we don't miss the now.
Sorry, I'm editing it. It's
Yeah,
because
I know.
I wanted to do another line and it just like I was like, oops. Oh man, they
Yeah.
all saw it now.
It's all right.
There we go.
Okay, we got our first one. Julie, do you mind reading it? Might as well. Do you mind reading it?
Sure. Then I was a worker. Then I felt free. Work was enough. Now I think, I write, I worry. Now I'm a prisoner in my own mind.
Heavy, like it. Okay, we have River. River, ¿podrías leerla?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you read it? Do you mind reading yours, River?
Yeah, I can do that.
Muchas gracias.
Antes era joven, sabía todo. Ahora soy de mediana edad y conozco nada.
Nice. It's getting on fire. And then we have Dr. Rosie. Dr. Rosie in the house. Do you mind reading yours, please?
Okay. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Excellent.
For a while, I sent you a message, Luis, that my neighborhood block had a short an outage.
Oh.
So I just barely got in. So perfect timing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Then I shared with others one voice of marches in East LA protesting for bilingual classes and equality. Now I freely express my voice bilingually through my published books of mi vida that are read by many.
Oh,
Thank
love
you.
it. Then we have Kimberly. Kimberly, do you mind reading yours?
No, I don't mind. Then I was lost and didn't see my purposes. Now I no longer, am lost and am working towards my passions. Then I was hidden at home, lacking connection with people. Now I go out as much as I can and attend as many events as I am able to. Then I had no courage or confidence. Now I am sure about myself and have the confidence it takes.
And it shows. Excellent, Kimberly. And overachiever, I like it. You're getting ahead. Excellent. You're almost done. And I don't know if everybody else continues. I can see. If not, I'll wait for you guys. I don't know how much time left we have for this, Luis.
Ahí síguele.
Okay, bring it on. Whoever is left, bring it on. Excellent job, guys.
Do keep in mind that these exercises, we don't expect it to be complete or perfect yet.
Yeah.
So you can add whatever you have if you're ready to add anything to the chat.
No pressure. But I want excellence.
That's a good
Hey,
one.
that's good that you guys say that because I think that many of us get paralyzed in the perfectionism. That's definitely me. And then once like the first part was there, I was like, man, now it has to be good. But I'll read my Then I was a little girl following her family's beliefs, going to 3 services a week. Now I'm grown and I know that everything is unknown.
Nice.
There you go.
And then we have also Chica. Nawahi.
Okay, I put at birth. Then I was a facet of an obscure dark space. Now I am among the luminous, undulant, spiraling risk. Then I was the smoke of the mirror. Now I am a participant of the all by which we are life. Then I was among the dimension of the death. Now I am among the count of the potentials of a day and night.
Excellent job. Good job, guys.
Excellent.
Did I miss anybody? Just let me know. 'Cause I'm just following the chat. Wow, you guys
Right
are
at the moment.
on fire.
All right. We have another one from Ciel.
Ciel, whenever you are ready.
Then I came out, new and blue. You held the corners of my essence. Now I am taller than you, dusting the tears from the crevice of your face.
Oh,
Excellent.
good job, guys. And again, if you have it, put it in the chat. If not, let me know because I'm really follow. We have Aurea. Aurea, whenever you are ready.
Thank you. I was on the phone. I couldn't like read that and see whatever, but now I can see.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was a small child with the need of a father's attention, but I didn't know, and now I'm still learning to be my own father. Now that my father left Earth.
Excellent. Deep. I like it.
Beautiful.
Dig in. Yes. Okay. And again, whenever you guys are ready, put in the chat or start reciting because I don't know. Can see all the faces, so I don't know.
I have to say that all of you are doing an excellent job. And I really appreciate that you're all kind of not lamenting life, but in your own way celebrating the life that you are living now. It sounds very powerful. All of you sound very powerful. So I have a lot of confidence that your final poems are going to be filled with a lot of empowerment and a lot of confidence in yourselves.
And thanks, Luis. Again, good to mention because I guess we have made it to the point. Your favorite part of this class, homework. Okay, so homework, continue adding more stanzas as you see fit. I mean, as many as you feel like they work within a poem, right? Remember, you are trying to see the path of life. You are in the past, and the path or the path of life you are in the present. Again, where are you now, right? Finally, send your then and now poem by Friday to your cohort. We still haven't got the cohorts, I guess, Luis. So they can review it, your work, and put their comments and everything, and be ready for next workshop on Tuesday, the next week. So again, send it by Friday, and by Tuesday we'll divide into groups and start chatting about like what we think about your poem, what we think is gonna be fixed, can fix it or not, all those little things. But have it beforehand, take notes, and be ready for that class. Okay, tarea, como les diciendo. lo que les encanta, les gusta, son adictos a tarea. Continúe agregando más estrofas como mejor les parezca. Las que quieran, ustedes verán cómo se siente el poema, cuántas partes le quieran poner. Recuerde que está tratando de ver el camino de la vida en el que era, en el pasado, y el camino de la vida en el que es en el presente, el que están haciendo ahora, ¿verdad? Finalmente, envíe su poema de antes y ahora, antes del viernes o en el viernes, ¿verdad? A su cohort, o sea, a su grupo. Vamos a dar grupos, todavía no decidimos, pero vamos a mandar para que tengan los emails de los grupos y ahí mandan su trabajo de ustedes, y para el martes que viene vamos a tener la, las sugerencias y lo que pensamos de sus poemas para discutir, ¿verdad? So, ¿alguna pregunta? Any question on the homework side of things?
Yeah, regarding the cohort assignments, cada quien va a recibir su asignada cohorte.
¿O como con un sombrero de Harry Potter o no?
On my side. No, but tomorrow afternoon, everyone will be getting an email with their assigned cohort. Y como dijo Abraham, ese cohorte van a recibir también los correos electrónicos de cada persona en su cohorte, y esas van a ser las personas a que van a mandar su trabajo. So you will receive the email addresses to all the individuals who are in your cohort, and those will be the ones who you will be sending your poem to for obviously the workshop next week.
Excellent. Any questions? Again, go for it. Now we can all use the chat if you want that, or talk. I like talking better. And again, this is a works cited. It's on the handout, but just in case, stuff that some of the things that I got stuff from, not all of them, but most of them. Déjame stop sharing or stop sharing. That way I can see
How many
everybody.
stanzas? That's a good question. When it comes to the length and structure of your poems, we leave it up to you. So when it feels finished for you, that is how long it is.
Yeah. For example, let me see. What is the poem that we had? Looking for it.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I agree with River.
The poem that we had, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, around 13 stanzas. The poem that we have, for example, from the Mary McCrate. So, pero como quieran, puede ser 3, 4, 5. Nada más no se vayan por una, tampoco sean codos. Don't just do one.
Yeah, this is about sharing, right?
Yeah. Go for more. I mean, some of you already done. Like I saw like one that was like, oh, already had like 3 stanzas. I was like, oh, that one went ahead. Like, nice.
Yeah.
Good job. Almost there, guys.
Cuando viene.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, I agree with River. It is a little early, but I do hope that all of you consider submitting your poem to the zine. It would be great to see all the different paths that people have.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy. Like I see this, like somebody of you were saying how the first song was really personal, and even the discography like place was telling the writer, hey, this is too personal for other band to sing it, so they made him sing it. So I like that this kind of gives that like personal, right?
Although I guess we should be clear, you're not obligated to submit something to the zine either. So si
but you better.
Quieren, no hay problema.
Oh, you don't. No, do you do? But try it.
For submission of the zine, does it have to be the theme with the class, or can it be outside of the theme?
For the zines, we try as much as possible to accept work that is to the theme. But if it's not part of the theme, and you want to work on it through the class, you're welcome to do so. And we are a little bit more lenient with those of you that are fully enrolled and who are actively participating. So, I'm not saying no.
And for the submissions for the actual scene, as long as the actual bigger theme, this is more of a then and now theme of that goes with the biggest theme that we have for Los Caminos de la Vida. But again, you don't have to do today's specific, but as long as it has to do with the ways of life, the paths, right? And I think it's really open. I don't think it's you have problem submitting anything for that. Again, this is more of a prompt, so you guys, and again, I always suggest try it because again, we never know what we can get from like different styles, and this is really important to try them. See if you want to have it in your career or your books. It's a different thing, but try them first, and maybe you get just a section of it that you like. Maybe you don't like it, but at least you know. Because trying it, it's the important thing.
The last day to submit anything to our Conchas y Café zine is the last day of the workshop series also. So that would be December 17th. That's the last day.
Yeah, and again, for the homework, submitting for the cohorts, do it by Friday, perhaps Saturday, but try Friday. Definitely, that's what we aim for. So the classmates can go ahead and read it and have comments on them and all that. So on Tuesday, we'll have something to share for you, like for your own work and for your course work, right? We're trying to help each other become like great poets.
Yeah, we're trying to support each other's development here. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Turn it in on Friday evening, if possible, to your cohort. Then from there, you can develop whatever it is that you're working on. Y no tiene que ser solo poesía, puede ser también un cuento o puede ser un cómic, fotografías, como quieran. So you're not limited to just poetry here. You can use the prompt to inspire you in any other medium, as long as it's something that we can potentially produce in the zine. Pero el último día para entregar todo, all of the final pieces need to be turned in by December 17th. And tomorrow, the submittable page where we accept the submissions will open as well. So that's going to happen tomorrow too. You can't submit anything quite yet. But very good question.
Yeah, there's still a long time for the actual publication of the thing. I guess now work on the specific poem and fix it, clean it.
So, ¿hay alguna otra pregunta? Any other questions or any final comments? I see a hand from Julie. You're muted, Julie.
I really do appreciate the cohort's comments. So I really want to encourage people to like rip my poems apart, and just provide feedback because it really, really, really does help me. And I thank everybody that has done that in the past and look forward to this class as well.
Excellent. And again, once you have all that, on Tuesday we'll start talking about each people's work and have fun.
And also, if in case anybody is wondering, the workshop sessions aren't recorded. So next week, no va a haber grabación, no recording, no live streaming, nothing. Just us meeting on Zoom in breakout rooms.
No se tienen que peinar.
Si no quieren.
Yeah, you don't have to comb your hair.
So if there are no other questions, then I think we'll go ahead and end tonight's session. Muchísimas gracias, Abraham, por la lección. Shout out to Abraham for another great session. Again, remember to turn in remember to keep an eye on your emails tomorrow afternoon, when you will receive your cohort assignment. You will have either me, Abraham, or Sam as the leader of your cohort, and we will be breaking out into breakout rooms next week. La sesión de la semana que entra, como dije, va a ser exclusivamente para pues, discutir, hablar sobre sus trabajos y las anotaciones que se hacen durante el fin de semana. Y mañana o pasado mañana va a abrir el portal para que puedan subir sus trabajos finalizados, si es que ya están listos para eso. Although I anticipated it might be a little early for people to upload final work.
Yeah, I suggest once you have more of the work, submit it one day, but It's still early.
Yeah.
But definitely email us your work for your cohort, your group. So manden sus emails a su grupo que les van a mandar mañana la lista. Y, no sé qué mandar mañana, pero vean la lista y luego el viernes ya por fin tendrán su poema o ya así pushing it, Saturday. Send it so we can all read it and have good notes on that. Okay.
All right. So with that, we say, have a great night, everybody.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nos vemos la próxima semana.
Thank you, Abraham. Thank you. Thank
So
you, Luis.
guys, good night.